Hello everyone, this is Snigdha Kakkad and this is my channel AccelerateAICareers. Today we are going to solve a very interesting question, LeetCode 43 multiply strings. It's been asked in Amazon, Meta and Google interviews. It's a medium level problem, but if you understand how it works, it's actually very easy because we have multiplied numbers since the time we grew up, right? So it's not such a new thing, but you can't multiply just using a multiply symbol here. You have to code it. So that's where the complexity arises. So what does the question say? You have been given two non-negative integers, nums1 and nums2. Notice the keyword non-negative integers here. That means the number is either 0 or greater than 0. Return the product of nums1 and nums2, also represented as string. Nums1 and nums2 are not integers given to you, they are given as strings to you. And the author wants the result also as a string. So basically the complexity is that you cannot convert it to integer and then just multiply directly. That's not what the user is expecting from you. So what you need to do is, when we were kid, we used to do multiplication, right? The same thing you need to realize how we used to do multiplication and turn it into a code. So let's see this example 2 and 3. So when we were kids, the single digit multiplication, how we used to do? We used to multiply the 0th index digit with the 0th index digit and then populate the result and then reverse it later on. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6 and the output is visible. Now single digit multiplication is simpler to understand and replicate. Say suppose we have the next example. The next example is the nums1 is 123 and nums2 is 456. So now the complexity will arise. How? Because you have to multiply the 3-digit number with the 3-digit number without actually using the multiply symbol directly. So how do you go about it? So first of all, recall when we learned multiplying when we were kids, how we used to do that. We used to pick up the 0th index from here and 0th index from here. And we used to multiply them. And then we used to populate the result here. And that's how we used to go ahead. So let's replicate the result here and see how the multiplication process was, and then we can figure out how we code it. So let me pick up the 0th index digit 6 here and multiply it with 3. So 6 multiplied by 3 is 18, right? So I will write 8 here. And the one which is supposed to be carried, I will just save it here. Okay. So for the time being, I have written the result like this. Now, the same digit 6 is multiplied by next digit 2. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. But you remember you have a carry in place. So 12 plus 1 is 3. That's how you go about it. And 13 because you have one carry. That carry will go here. Now you will multiply 6 by 1, 6. And you have a carry here. So you will add 1, 1138. So that's how your first digit gets multiplied. Now the same procedure you will follow. You will pick up digit 5 and multiply it with all the 3 digits in the first number. So 5 multiplied by 3. But where will you place it? So to know where to place the result, we take the index of this digit to which we are multiplying, index of digit from which we are multiplying, and add the indices. So the index of digit 3 is 0. The index of digit 5 is 1. So if you add them, 0 plus 1 is 1. So you will place the result here at index 1. That's how we go about it. So 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. So the result will go at 1th place here. So what I will do, I'll not update the result here. Instead, I will update it here. That's how we used to do. So I will write 15. Okay. Now we multiply 5 by 2, which is 10. But where will I place it? So 5 is 1th index, 2 is 1th index, so 1 plus 1, 2. So second index. So in result, this is 0th index, this is 1th index, this is 2 index. So I will be placing it at 2th index. So 5 into 2 is 10, but I already have a carry 1 here. So it will be 11. So I will place 1. Okay. Now 5 multiplied by 1 is 5 and plus 1 carry here 6. So, and how did I figure out that it will come here? Because 5 digit index is 1, 1 digit index is 2, so 1 plus 2, 3, and hence the third index. And then same way we'll multiply the next digit. So for multiplying next digit and seeing where the result is kept, first of all, digit 4 has index as 2. Digit 3 has index as 0. So you will place them as index 2 plus 0, that is 2. So this is 0th index, this is first index, this is second index. So 4 into 3 is 12. Okay. Now 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. And where will it go? So 4 is second index, 2 is first index. So 2 plus 1, 3. So it will come here. You have a carry here. So 4 into 2 is 8. And 8 plus 1 is 9. Now 4 into 1 is 4. And where will it go? So 4 is a second digit index, 1 is second digit index. So it will go to 2 plus 2, fourth index. And it will be 4 here. Okay. So this is how we place. And finally, what do? We add all these results together. And how we go about the addition? So this is 8 plus 0 plus 0. So 8. This is 3 plus 5, which will come out to be 8. And this is 7 plus 1, which is 8 plus 2, 10. So we have 1 carry. And that 1 carry plus 6, 7. 7 plus 9, 16. So 1 again carry, and carry 1 plus 4, 5. So your result will be 5688. Let's see what our result here in example. So do you see the output is also 56,088. So essentially that's how we used to do multiplication when we were kids, and finally we used to reverse the result and return it, right? That's how we used to go about it. So now what are the steps you would follow when you are actually coding it? So basically we will be converting our all nums1 and nums2 into 2 arrays, because multiplying strings is complex while multiplying arrays is easier. And in array you can address character by character. So we will first convert them into array. So that's your first step. After that, you reverse both the numbers, num1 and num2, like you have done here. Because if you see, when you are discussing indices, the index you are discussing is 2, 1, 0. So you have reversed the index. It's not 0, 1, 2, it's 2, 1, 0. And even in your result, the indices which you're talking is 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So you are essentially reversing everything. So we convert them into arrays, and then we reverse them. Reverse num1 and num2. After that, what do we do? And how do you know what length of array you need to initialize? So you need to initialize result array. But what size? The size would be length of num1 plus length of num2. Maximum this could be the length of the result. So you will initialize the result array like this. After that, you would be multiplying digit by digit starting from index 0, like we have done here in an example. Same way you will be multiplying them. And how will you address the carry? Whenever you multiplied, say you multiplied 6 into 3, 18. So you captured the 0th index of the result 18 here, 8. And you took the carry over to the next, that is the 10th place next. So that's how we are going to do. We are going to update result with the 0th index. How do you find the 0th index? It's essentially found by taking the modulo by 10. That's how you get the result. So you will update always that particular index this way. And that index is updated that way. And how will you update the carry? The carry gets updated with the integer division of 10. And it get carry over, and then you update the result for next index by that. So I hope this is clear. And finally, once you get your array, it will be in reverse status, right? So you would reverse it again and put it into a string. That's your entire code. So let's start coding. When we are coding, you will be able to understand it better. So now what will you do? First of all, your base case is if either of your two strings is 0. So in that case, you have to return a string 0, right? So if 0, since both num1 and num2 are strings and not array or integers, hence I am putting it in quotes. So in that case, return 0. Okay, so this is your base case. Now you have to initialize the result array. And how do you initialize the result array? What length? It would be sum of length of num1 plus length of num2. That is the maximum length your answer can get. After that, you have to reverse your both the strings. So num1, num2. In Python, the reversal is easier. You just reverse it like colon, colon, -1. And same for num2. Okay. Now we loop through the strings. So for index 1 in range of length num1, and then for I2 in range of length num2. So this is done. Now we multiply digit, but your both the strings are in string formatted. Both the numbers num1, num2 are in string format. So first convert it into integer and take num1, I1, and you multiply it by int num2, I2. So now you have it in digit, but it could be a single digit or it could be a double digit. You have not taken the carry out of it, okay? So you need to update your result at what index? It would be updated at index I1 plus I. Now, so update the result of index I1 plus I2, and how do you update it? You would add digit there. Why am I adding digit? Because there might be originally a carry already there. So I'm adding digit there rather than just assuming that result at I1 plus I2 is always null. So I'm assuming that there might be a carry and I'm just adding the current digit there. But this again, we have not separated carry out of it. So it could be a single digit, could be a double digit. So how to separate the carry? So to separate the carry, I will move the carry at I1 plus I2 plus 1, just the next index. And how do I move it? I will add this result at I1 plus I2 integer division by 10. Okay. So what did I do? I first computed digit by taking int of num1 at I1 and int of num2 at I2. Once I got the digit, I added to my current result, which is result at I1 plus I2, because that is the index which we need to update. And then I need to separate carry out of it. So to separate carry, I move the carry to the immediate next index. And how do I separate carry? I just take a division by 10. Now, what's remaining? So I need to update result I1 plus I2 with what? So I will be updating it with result of I1 plus I2 modulo 10, because I have already separated carry. So it would be updated by modulo 10. Because say suppose 3 multiplied by 6 is 18, we are just capturing 8 at one's place, right? How do we capture 8 at one's place? We take the modulo by 10. And how do we take the carry forward? We take the division by 10 and we get the 1 there as carry. And we move to the immediate next index. Okay, I hope it is clear. After that, we have not handled one scenario. Say suppose we have 10 multiplied by 10. So how long an array would you initialize? It would be length of num1 plus length of num2. So we are essentially initializing a 4-digit array. So the array which we have initialized is 4-digit, but the result is 0, 1, 0. So your result is not 4-digit. You have a leading 0 here. But in your final result, you don't want to show this leading 0. So you have to get rid of it. So how do you get rid of that leading 0? There could be one leading 0. There could be more than one leading zeros. So how do you get rid of it? So we will first take result and then we take beginning. This is a beginning variable. And we will first revert the result array, because our initially whatever result we get is in reverse status. So we first reverse it. And we initialize beginning by 0. That is 0th index. Okay. So now while beginning is less than length of result, that is we have not spanned across the entire result, and result at beginning index is equal to 0. That is it has leading zeros. Until then we just skip. So we will increase beginning index by 1. Okay. So this will identify first non-zero index for you, first non-zero index value for you in result. And then you can get rid of it. In Python, we have a very good function which is map. We can use that to map the result to string. And what do we map? We map result from the beginning index identified, to so on. Like we will get rid of all the leading zeros this way. Okay. And then we can return the result by doing a simple join, dot join, because we need to return the result also in string format. And that's our entire code. So what did we do? We first took our base case that if either of the two strings is 0, then return the string as 0 only. That's our base case. Now we initialize the total result array. The total result array would be of length maximum of length of num1 plus length of num2. But it could have some leading zeros because it need not be that your result is actually of this length, okay? Then you reverse the two strings given to you. So num1 and num2 have been reversed here. Then you loop through both of the strings and multiply each of the indices values. And once you multiply, then you separate the carry as well as the ones place digit with it. So you take modulo 10 to get the remaining value, and you take division 10 to get the carry, and you move the carry to the next index. Now to handle the leading zeros, what did you do? You took an index beginning and started it with 0, and you reversed your answer result. Now you will run through the entire loop of result and start from beginning index 0, and you will keep on incrementing beginning until beginning value is 0. So as soon as you face the first non-zero value, that is the time you exit this loop. Okay. And then finally we map our array from beginning onwards and getting rid of all the leading zeros, and we map it to string and return the result in the form of string. I hope it is clear. Let's run and see if we made any mistake and if it worked. So it is accepted. Let's submit. Okay. So the solution looks good. Now what would be the time complexity and space complexity for this solution? So if you see, we are looping through first array, then we are looping through second array. So essentially the time complexity would be O of n into m, where n is the length of num1 and m is the length of num2. So O of n into m would be your time complexity. Now what would be your space complexity? So you are using an array of length num1 plus length num2 to represent your result, right? So your space complexity would be O of n plus m, where n is length of num1 and m is length of num2. I hope the solution is clear to you. If you know any better approach to solve this question, mention in the comments. If you like my way of solving problems, then subscribe to my channel Accelerate AI Careers and stay updated with my daily LeetCode challenge. Thank you.